take 8 deep breaths as you take that moment of silence. The 8 deep breaths, short and plain, were the 8 deep breaths that he was not able to perform before he transitioned. So this is in remembrance of my brother Fred Gafar. May Allah be pleased with him and grant him entrance into paradise. 8 deep breaths. Fred Gafar. I'm going to read something from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which was divinely prepared by Noble Prophet Jawali. Reading from chapter 4. I'm going to read 1 through 8. When John was 12 years old, his mother died, and laborers laid her body in a tomb among her kindred in the Hebron burying ground and near to Zacharias' tomb. And John was deeply grieved. He wept. Matheno said, "It is not well to weep because of death. Death is no enemy of man. It is a friend who, when the work of life is done, just cuts the cord that binds the human boat to earth, that it may sail on smoother seas. No language can describe a mother's worth, and yours was tried and true. But she was not called hence until her tasks were done. The cause of death are always for the best, for we are solving problems there as well as here, and one is sure to find himself where he can solve his problems best. It is selfishness that makes one wish to call again to earth departed souls. Then let your mother rest in peace. Just let her noble life be strength and inspiration unto you. A crisis in your life has come, and you must have a clear concept of the work that you are called to do." I share that. That's coming from chapter 4, Death and Burial of Elizabeth, Matheno's Lessons. John being the son of Elizabeth, was 12 years old when his mother transitioned, caught weeping, and Matheno made it a lesson. I welcome you to Black Studies 101. For those of you who have joined us the first 2 weeks, then this will be somewhat of an undisclosed, unreleased trilogy, what you've seen the last 2 weeks, okay? Understanding the Moorish paradigm. First off, let's get into this before we even get into it. I only have a few points that I want to plan to cover. What was given to you in the packet, for some, it may be a bit much. You may not even go through it, look at it, whatever, okay? Feel free, though, to pay close attention to what the packet has in it, what it contains, and the parts that I have planned to cover for tonight. We will go through it. There will be a point of reference. Forgive me for not numbering the pages. I meant to have a spread so I can show it to you, so I can flash back, so we'll all be teacher-student tonight, okay? Let's deal with the concept of the Moorish paradigm. Understanding the Moorish paradigm, okay? We're going to get into it. Early bird catches the worm. We were about 3 minutes behind. I try to make sure that I keep it at a 57-minute minimum. I pride myself on being an educator, and I know when students get tired of listening to the lecturer, but I'm old school, believe it or not. So yeah, the technology is there. Looks just like the children's classroom. You have children that are in schools, but I'm here. I'm pen to paper, blackboard style. All right. Key number 15, finally on the first page that I passed out to you, and it's question number 15. Okay. And the question reads: for what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple founded? For the uplifting of fallen humanity. Now, it says Holy Temple of Science there. If you're paying attention, you'll follow along, and again, you'll understand part of what we call the Moorish paradigm. Our prophet Noble Drew Ali was divinely prepared by Allah, and he came in a time to save nations from the wrath of Allah. He came bringing us our nationality and our divine creed. So this is why understanding the Moorish paradigm is important. These were doctrines that he left. He left a couple other things too, but these were I'll be probably pulling out some things from, and you'll see some copies made out of there. That page that you see there is found in this pamphlet. This is called the Quran Questionnaire for Moorish American Children. You may have heard it dubbed as the 101s, okay? But this is what that pamphlet looks like. For the record, let me introduce myself and get I jumped out there like y'all know. I am Marcus Molden Bey. I am the Divine Minister and Grand Governor of the Moorish Science Temple of America in the state of Texas. At this current time, there is one temple in the state under my leadership, I guess. Moorish Science Temple of America, temple number 21. It is a charter, legally and lawfully chartered temple. And we meet here twice a week. Sundays at 1 p.m. for Sunday school, and then Friday evening is what we call our Holy Day observation service. Let's start there. Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. This is going to give us an understanding of the suffix ish. Okay? Ish. Moorish. Somewhere right now, someone is doing the Scottish paradigm. Then there's someone that's doing the English paradigm. Then we have someone that's doing the British paradigm. Kind of following where I'm going with it a little bit. Okay? Notice this same suffix on all of those. Okay? So I want you to bear in mind that at this current time, it's a language that we speak. I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to get into it because it's part of the paradigm. Like it or not, however you use this term, I suggest that you do. We are an American. I can suggest to you from many different ways. I'll start with the most popular transatlantic slave trade, because most people want to deal with that. You will be dishonoring those ancestors if you don't call yourself an American, and they did what they had to do for us to be here today. Take your pick, wherever you want to start. You can start at the ships, most of it's going to end right there. You can take civil rights, it's going to end on the bridge, but you better take this turn. You see the two flags that are standing here tonight. If this flag was not standing here, then this would merely be a banner. They sing a song called the Star-Spangled Banner. This is what you're talking about. When it stands next to a nation flag, nationality is demonstrated. I'm a Moorish American. Why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants of Moroccans born here in America. For the Pan-Africanists, the Kemetic scientists, the favorite Christian. You not going to have me to believe I'm a Moroccan, okay? The congressional records and a few other records are going to go back, and you're going to understand that the term Moroccan, just like the term Moor, and if I'm moving too fast, let me know. If you have a question, go ahead and ask.
Can you define the difference between Muslim and Muslim?
Absolutely. I'll start with a good question. A Muslim, M-U-S-L-I-M, one who submits to the will of Allah. I'll say it again. One who submits to the will of Allah. Muslim. Muslim. Most of the time you're going to find them in the Middle East, Pakistan, India, Arabia. Muslim. Moslem. One who is the will of Allah. One who is the will of Allah. Wolof, Muslim. Senegal, West Africa, Muslim. Sufi, Muslim. This is how we look. Okay? Hannibal Barker, Muslim, was a Berber, was also Moorish, but they'll dub him as a Moor or Moroccan. Going back to these two terms, for lack of a better term, especially here, that just means Negro, black, colored, African American. Okay? Let's go to second page. Okay? And I'm going to read right in the middle. It says, how we interact with society. From the book, The Foreign State, Chapter 1, quote, International Law. International law may be defined as the ensemble of those laws, rules, or usages of conduct, received opinions, and international conventions, aided in case of need by the doctrines of abstract justice, universal reason, and sound morality, which, owing to their general acceptability, are regarded as regulative of the intercourse of civilized nations with one another, both in peace and war. Put a little bracket around there. That's where we hit to first. So I'm still here for a minute before I erase. Ish is a suffix. It is a performance or practice. Do you speak English? Yes. Unfortunately, quite well. Are you Scottish? No. I'm going to tell you now. We live here. There are Moors in Scotland. Pull it up right now. And you will see a Moorish crest in Scotland. Two black faces. That's their shield, still on their flag to this day. Okay? Same with the Irish. Go to Ireland. Find the influences of your forefathers there from a Moorish perspective. Spanish, where you gonna go to find a Moorish perspective? Thank you. Glad you guys are with me. Let's go to Spain. Just because you hear Spanish don't mean he's from Mexico, and it don't mean he's from Spain. Are y'all with me on that? All right. The performance or practice as Moorish is just the same as the English, British, Spanish, the Irish. You don't believe me? I believe one of the major networks gave you a sitcom called Blackish. Am I standing here saying I'm a black American? No, man. Here's why. History shows the black American ain't had much success. My community shows that the Irish American, Chinese American, Spanish American, etc. are all doing well in my community. I dubbed it earlier. The problem in the black community is the African American doesn't vote. Please quote me on that. A problem, not the problem. A problem in the black community is that the African American doesn't vote. Let that marinate with you all. But you can't be African American. Why not? It's impossible. For one, Africa is a continent. America is a country on the continent of North America. But they want you to behave blackish. They don't want you to understand the paradigm of performing what was already laid out for you. Why would Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, may Allah be pleased with him, write books specifically about the Moors in Spain, the ones that came before Columbus, the golden age of the Moors? 3 of his most popular books. Why would Dr. Chancellor L. Williams in The Destruction of Black Civilization explain to you about the Moors? You go to the Bible, Galatians, Phoenicians, Hebrews, Moors. You go to the Quran of Muhammad, the Quraysh, Moors. A Berberish lifestyle, Moorish lifestyle. Okay? Let's go to the next page. Come back to that page, make a note for you guys to do that, please. Stop at 81, and here, understand, just like Muslim and Muslim, you see at the bottom there where it says definitions. And this is why I gave you these 4 pages. These are terms that one would want to understand. There's a difference between a follower and a member. Are you a follower or are you a member? Okay? You can follow the church, but you're a member of a fraternity or a sorority. You don't follow that fraternity or sorority. You might be a member of the church, but you follow, I'm going to say the prophet, but you should follow the spiritual leader to an extent. Nobody is called Jakeite, a Rushite. Now they dubbed him Garveyite. That's a good following. But then ask him, are you a member of his movement? And his movement was not Cobra, was not the Repatriation Society, definitely was not RBG. Marcus Garvey Jr.'s movement was the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association. He was before the NAACP. He had 4 million members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. He probably had more followers than he did members. There's a difference between the two. You with me? All right, let's go to the next page. Make a note to come back to those. Take a look at the terms that are there. The terms that are there help you to, again, understand part of what the Moorish paradigm is about. Okay? The pages that are in this book comes out of the orientation manual that we in the Moorish Science Temple of America use for its members. We want to make sure that you have a foundation of understanding in regards to what Prophet Noble Drew Ali left us with. Go to the page right after, I think it's 83, might be the last page. I don't know if it has page on the bottom, but it's not going to have definitions on it. Go one more. Go one more, sis. That one right there. Go one more, bro. Okay. And forgive me again for not having numbers on them and being able to refer to. I don't even have them for myself. That's bad. Okay. Let's go right to the middle again. Okay. And it is 1, 2, 3, the 4th paragraph in the middle, and it says our rights or traditions and customs as Moorish American Muslims. Okay? This is where you get into the performance aspect. Okay? Now, they didn't give us rules on how to be black. They didn't give us rules on how to be colored. They didn't give us rules on how to be Negro. They didn't give us rules on how to be African American. Okay? But if I come over here from another country into this land, they give me rules that I need to follow. They're called naturalization rules. That's why there are naturalization laws, and that's why there's a naturalization test. Okay? I share that with you because you might go home and hit the internet and see what this Moorish science stuff is really all about. And my goodness, it's a lot of folly out there. Okay? And I'll be the first one to tell you. Primarily because of what our prophet left is not being demonstrated. The fez, which you see me with today. The turban, which is most often worn by the sisters, but brothers also wear turbans too, but most often it's going to be the sisters. Okay? The turban with the star and the crescent button. Forgive me. The star and the crescent button is about yay big, and it's going to sit right in the section of it. I'm not a sister, so I don't really know how to wrap the turban, but I know how to wrap the turban. What you're looking for is going to be a pyramid. The turban is in homage to Ruth. Okay? The turban is a representation of the tulip and the way the tulip petals overlap one another, forming what we call a crescent or a pyramid.
You said to root or to root?
Ruth, from the Bible. Okay? Ruth was a Moabitess. A Moabitess is a Moabite. A Moabite, just like an Israelite, Canaanite, Hittite, or Shiite. I think that's a modern term. These were all tribal terms. Okay? Moabite. Thank you for allowing me to get that out, because that's part of the Moorish paradigm. All right? Here is your land. Scotland, England, the British are in Britain, Irish are in Ireland, Spain, Spanish, right? Okay. We also had tribes. Okay? You also had tribes. The ones like I was just mentioning. The Hittites, the Hamathites, Canaanites, Israelites, Moabites. Those were all your tribes. Those were all your tribes that came first in your empires and in your nations. The tribes were moving around: Songhai, Zulu, Ethiopia, Egypt, what was called Kemet at the time, Sudan, Mali, Zulu. That's where you got your Cushites, your Moabites, your Hittites, your Israelites. I believe I had that chapter in there. I think we're going to hit that chapter. Okay? Let's go back. Our rights or traditions and customs as Moorish American Muslims include the fez, the turban with the star and the crescent button, the Muslim greeting with the right hand on the heart, our Moorish greeting of Islam and peace and love, our 5 divine principles, our Holy Quran, the divine constitution and bylaws, our questionnaire, our charter, and so many more that our Prophet Noble Jew Ali brought us. This is all part of our inherited birthrights as a nation of people. Historically, Arabia was a colony of the ancient Kushite Empire. Historically. In order to have a figurative and literal sense of history, you need to have a literal sense. Okay? There's a reason that maps change every so often. There's a reason why, I'll even say college textbooks. There's a reason why college textbooks change every so often. Okay? And especially in these days and times where you can pull out a computer out of your pocket. And you can take that computer and down or upload into a smaller, bigger computer that you can down or upload to a larger computer. Okay? So we have to oftentimes remember the rights and traditions that we have. Let's go to the next paragraph. Same page. And this is a reference, and I underline that because that is a book. I've seen that book in our community at Pan-African Connection. It's not one that stays on the shelf long. In Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Kushite Empire by Drusilla Dungy Houston, Chapter 9, The Marvelous Arabian Nation. Let me see, I think I passed it. Well, here it is. Here we go. It's right there. Okay? It states, Arabia was one of the earliest colonies of the ancient Kushite Empire of Ethiopians. That's a stop right there. Because most of your average Pan-Africanists or even Kemetic scientists are not going to have that bit of information. I'm going to read it one more time. And this is coming out of a sister's book. Let me help the sister find the page. You know, I don't have the page number. Forgive me. And then I don't have an immediate digital copy to be able to show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm going to try to stay with us. Okay. One of the earliest colonies of the ancient Kushite Empire of Ethiopians. Just deal with that. The question should come up, did the Kushites have other empires other than the Ethiopians? Yes. Okay? Ethiopian was a term that some of your grandparents or great-grandparents might have on their birth certificate. Anybody know why? Ethiopian is the new black. Okay? We have a question in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and it says, name some of the marks that were placed upon the Moors in 1774. Trying to see if I put that in there for you all. I did not. It says, name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of 1774. Okay? Some of the marks that were put upon the Moors in 1774 were Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian. It took them 5 years to put those marks on us. This was 1774. Let me write this down. 1774, they put some marks. And remember I said to you that Moor was a conglomerate term. So you can pull up old congressional records. Go back 1770 something and see what you get from the Library of Congress. Put some marks on Moors. And I said to you that it took them 5 years. 1779, they named us. Named us the marks. Anybody know how long the marks lasted? Lasted until 1865. What was 1865? Kind of. You right. And the Civil War brought about the what? And thank you. Give me that one. The end of slavery. Okay? And we're going to talk about that a tad bit real quick. And I'm sure you probably know this, but let me say it for record's sake. The Emancipation Proclamation did not free the slaves. Okay? What was the Emancipation Proclamation? Anybody know? I like that. Number 44. Say again.
They freed the slave for the people that were not under the union or.
To an extent. The Emancipation Proclamation is nothing but an executive order. Number 44, who idolized number 16, went down in history for issuing the most number of executive orders from a president ever. Y'all know that? Barack Obama went down in history as presidency for issuing the most executive orders and proclamations. Okay? How many emancipation proclamations are there?
2.
2? Final answer? When was the first one issued, Doc?
1863.
What year, what month?
I'm sorry. 1862 September went into effect on January 1st, 1863.
Perfect. There was one in December in 1862 too. There are 4. There's the initial that came out in September. If you know the story of Abraham Lincoln, he got fight. He started. That's when the fight started. How you think you're gonna frame him? I'm not real sure yet, but I'm gonna frame him. Then came what's called the supplemental. This is how we're gonna do it. Give him 40 acres and a mule. Okay? That started a war. So we had to issue the preliminary proclamation of how we were gonna free him. And he was very smart to write in his will the one that freed the slaves. And he did that by the issuance of the 13th Amendment, which was never properly what?
Ratified.
In what year?
65.
65, but in 1864 it went into law. How many sections does the 13th Amendment have? Final answer. Doctor of African American Studies, what you got?
That's the history major.
Okay, he wrong.
He deflected. Y'all.
Think about what was just said. Watch the joke. Be on us again. It was never properly ratified. He says 2 or 3. The one that was properly ratified has 20 sections in it. It's called a 1320. Pull it up. You can go to the Library of Congress and request a copy of the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. And in there, you will see it make reference back to the initial supplemental and proclamation of the emancipation itself. It was an executive order first. Okay? But how do you free slaves? I mean, how do you free people? How do you get the money? Kinda. You said it before. What happened during all of this? Between the North and South started a war. Can't free me without no war. Quote me on that too. Okay? You can't free me without a war. How long we been in Middle East? Anybody know?
Middle where?
Long enough.
Middle East.
Where's that at?
At least. But didn't Bush Papa go over there first? How long we been in Kuwait? Panama? Libya? Man, never mind. That'll be, y'all come back for that part. We'll go through that again. Okay? All right? Baldwin claims that it was the original land of Cush. He says, in the oldest recorded traditions, Arabia is the land of Cush, the celebrated Ethiopia of very remote times. He continues, in ages older than Egypt or Chaldea, Arabia was the seat of enlightened and enterprising civilization that went far into neighboring countries. At that time, Arabia was the exalted and wonderful Ethiopia of olden tradition, the center and life of what in Western Asia was known as the civilized world. Traditions of the ancient world, rightly interpreted, can have no other meaning. In the early tradition and records of Greece, Arabia was described as Ethiopia. Arabia was only separated from old Ethiopia by the Red Sea. We would decide that the old race of the Upper Nile early sent colonies across the sea, which built up the cities and communities along the opposite Arabian coast. This happening before the founding of Memphis or the colonizing of Chaldea. Drusilla Dungy Houston. If I could afford to get the sister here, just read to me. I'd probably drop out in a heartbeat. Talking about a history major. Okay? Any questions? Let's go. Let me read that last one. Remember, I told you how it was. If you've been to the first 2 weeks, this line right here was last week. These same Cushites, under the Pharaoh Narmer, united the two lands and moved the capital to Lower Egypt. The Nile River flows upwards. You wonder why I'm going to stand on being a Moorish American? Because I can prove it. A mastermind should be able to trace themselves back at least 100 years. At least. If I could do that, that means that's another 100 years should be that preceded that. That's why Ancestry.com and 23andMe is so popular right now. But again, are you performing or practicing a lifestyle that is recognized? Some of the marks that were put on upon the Moors, Ethiopian, man, just read it why. The Ethiopians were nothing but colonized slaves for those that wasn't cut off. We think that's Ethiopia that we talking about right here, that over there. Man, Ethiopia was so big it was split in 3, but they only talk about 2, upper and lower. If you got an upper and a lower, what's got to be there? Come on, man. Then they think all of a sudden, here come this Jamaican from Jamaica, speaking fluent patois, who come bringing liberation. Where you get this from? Where you get it from? Upper and lower, and the mid. The uniting of the land. This is a real flag. You know that, right? Notice this one is blank. So he did that for a reason. He know y'all not going to understand anything. You're going to bow down to the banner, stand up and put your hand over that. But then y'all don't even realize how smart they was to take the Pledge of Allegiance away from us. That's your people that wrote that. No European write no Pledge of Allegiance. Then it get deeper than that. It was your people that put the Bill of Rights together. All 7 of them. What the quote say? We what? In order to what? Come on, man, I'm done. That's number 2. I don't give you. I don't play with it. This is right here in front of us. Been in front of our eyes all of our lives. But y'all want me to take black and Negro for another 40 years? I got a grandchild. I can't give him that. That don't work. I'm gonna say it again. A problem in the black community is the lack of the vote from the African American. I'm a national. People, you know what kind of ballot I cast? A national ballot. I don't know why they don't come in here and ask Brother Bey to vote for him. I don't know. I don't know why not. One reason is all of y'all don't sit performing in practices of a situation that can get us free. I'm saying that to all of y'all that's in here right now.
Right on, brother.
I only see one turban. So, who got my lifestyle here in this room? Nobody. So the best I can do is help for us to understand, right? These marks that were put on us in 1774, they lasted in 1865. Why are we still calling each other black and Negro? Why are we still doing that? If the end of slavery was over in 1865, we just went through how it ended. He had a whole war. That's one of the best presidents ever. Every other president had a war too. To free some people. We think we doing good when we go enlist. But look, people ask, why you got the flag upside down, flying back? Listen, if you understand the laws of how these things work, man, we in a time of distress. We at war. What I just read to you, right here, the last line, it says, this happening before the founding of Memphis or the colonizing of Chaldea. Man, during those times, the Chaldeans was at war. Over what? Over their land. Okay? Let me get off my high horse. I apologize. Any questions? Turn the page. There's enough people here. Go to where you see number 2, page 58. I think the number's on the top of that. Can I get a sister to read that for me? Right there, so that's where you are.
old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of the African who came from the land of Canaan.
Now, just hold on. We just read what was going on over here, right? What they was calling Cushites. We know the Cushites come from Cush. Anybody debating that? Because if you so, I mean, I can give you your Bible to refer to it, because it's in your, I'm not bad. But it's in y'all's Bible. It's in there. Okay? Go ahead, sis.
His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia.
Stop. The word didn't exist until the son, then came the father. But let's go back one more page. Hold your spots, but go back to the page you just left. And let me hit it one more time. It says, we would decide that the old race of the Upper Nile early sent colonies across the sea, which built up the cities and communities along the opposite Arabian coast. Watch how they did it. Go back to that page. Keep reading, sis. Watch what happens.
Which means the
Demarcation.
demarcation line of dominion
Of the dominion.
of Amalek.
Of who?
Amalek.
Look at it one more time. A Mexican. You got it.
The first true and divine name of Africa.
Hello, watch out.
Hold it now. Read it again. Now that you know how to pronounce it, so we know what to look for. You got it. A Mexican.
It makes them.
Which means the
Demarcation line.
Demarcation line of the dominion of a Mexican.
There you go.
The first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the Father and the Son.
Watch this. Go to number 4.
The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest, was his father's dominion of Africa.
Stop. Where was the son? Huh?
The middle.
What's she reading coming out of here? Divinely prepared by the noble prophet. Juali, that's him in the chick. I keep the prophet out front of everything I do. Think about what we're talking about. We're talking about Ethiopia, right? Who Ethiopia hold up high? Haile Selassie. They call him what? Right? He came from amongst them. He looked like them. He spoke like them. He understood their plight. Right? Same thing he did. Born in the state of North Carolina, 1886. Timothy Drew. They called him the Egyptian adept. I'll share this with you. It's a story, so you know. They say when he traveled to Egypt, and he went to get the secrets. He went and he bestowed the sages to give him the secrets to bring back to the people. He told him he was a prophet. He had to go back over there though, so he's dealing with this. He's dealing with these people who know who he is, but ain't really trying to give it to him.
Right.
Tell you what, brother prophet, we're gonna take you down here in this basement of this pyramid. You get your way out this pyramid, we'll give you all the secrets you want.
Okay.
By the time they were out the pyramid, the prophet was coming out to paw the Sphinx. They looked over and saw this little man coming out the paw of the Sphinx. Whatever you want, you can take it.
Hello.
Divinely prepared by the noble prophet. He had to go and snatch it and bring it back to us. It's supposed to be my duty and responsibility as a divine minister to defend his ministry and what he is. That's one of the best ways that any so-called black African American is going to understand what the paradigm of the Moorish lifestyle is about. Quit looking at the history books without a literal sense of what was really going on. Okay? Come on, sis, we're going to go down to, I want to go down to 9. That's where I want to go.
In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire,
Mhm.
with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan, seeking new homes. Their dominion and habitation extended from north, east, and southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean.
Stop, hold that thought. That's why so many melanated people across here, just if you didn't catch that. Okay? Then, anybody know what the landmass was called before that great earthquake?
Pangea.
Okay. Anybody know what the planet was called before Pangea? The planet.
Gaia.
That was afterwards, and that was some stolen stuff too. But it was. You get old maps from 1511 and a little bit older. The planet was called Asia. You'll see on the map where it's called the Asian Sea. Okay? This is why if we all about the same age except for these three over here. If you remember, you know what I'm talking about, there's always some youngsters around.
Right.
If you remember when we were in school, they talked about Asia Minor and Asia Major.
I remember that though.
Huh?
I remember that.
You remember a time those two land masses were together and they would call that Eurasia.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know earthquakes still happen every day, right?
Right.
Okay. And we know the concept of an earthquake, right? All right. Okay, come on, sis.
Okay, the river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms.
Stop. Hold your thought right there. She said it in the last part that she read. Y'all know what Pharaoh we speaking of? When they started coming over there and seeking permission for the new land? Okay. Cush was a Pharaoh. Go back a page. Go back a page. Remember that last paragraph, the little sentence that we read? Wait a minute, why y'all skipping the first part? Oh, whose people were them? These what? What it said? These same Cushites. Wait a minute, wait. Same means what? Where there's some Cushites somewhere else too though. Like y'all remember that empire of Cushites that had Ethiopia? Everybody over there wasn't Ethiopian, even though they was there. Okay? What they call that Pharaoh? They call him what? Norman. What y'all think his nationality was? Oh! Oh, okay. So they went to ask themselves. Okay? Let's go back to where you was at, sis.
Also, the Niagara River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extended eastward from the river Nile westward across the great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation.
Before we get to number 9, and we'll stop and thank you very much. Who was here last week? You remember they spoke about it. Didn't Baba James speak about that?
Yeah.
Didn't he talk about Norman? What else Norman do? He didn't touch on that part. That was a pharaoh that was dredging that river. Had to control that for a reason. Right? What was it used for?
Trade and travel.
Trade and transportation. But it flowed opposite of everything else. They dredged it before they started trading and transporting on the River Nile. Anybody know how far the River Nile extends?
4,000 miles.
Something like that, give or take. Closest part that we can get to it right now would be the Mississippi River. ahead, number 9, sis. I'll come back to that in a minute.
According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan.
Appreciate you, sis. I don't know how well that sit with y'all,
Oh, we good.
okay? Because I know Negroes get good benefits.
And black, I know black is a color.
Black is beautiful.
Right.
I say it all the
right.
time.
Power.
You took it out of my head. I say it all the time.
Uh-huh.
Black Power was a rally call. If I'm not mistaken, James Brown came out with that during a time of distress. Then they took King out when he came out with that. They were tearing up the cities. He did a concert in D.C. and the king had just been assassinated. He came out with Black Power to get him to calm down so he can talk to him. Now they take Black Power and they come back with a slur and they calling you a BIE, a Black Identity Extremist. Oh, you facing Fed charges. And then if you're not careful, you can be dubbed as an SCE, a sovereign citizen extremist. Yeah. It's called COINTELPRO. Because y'all spend too much time on Facebook making friends. Y'all spend time Googling, feeding the beast.
Yeah.
Right? All up in Facebook, telling your business.
Yeah.
Everybody looking for clicks. All on YouTube, searching videos, but don't want to come to a class, pen and paper.
Monday to 7:30.
You know, the little young one, he don't know much what he talking about. He ain't really been in a struggle. I ain't never seen him on the Emmett Pass Bridge before. He don't come to no reparation meeting. What they say in the movie, you ain't gonna get no reparation for the brand new Cadillac, you ain't gonna do nothing. If they all gave us reparations
Right.
check today,
Yeah.
would we all try to do something in the community? Let's keep it real.
We know not all.
I'm talking about us that's in here right now. Keep it real. If they gave us, how much y'all think we should be getting in reparations? Anybody know? We talking,
Over $1 zillion.
okay, a zillion.
$15,000 a year. There's no cap.
Let's at least make it tangible. Okay?
Okay.
First off, you already know you're gonna have to be able to prove your bloodline,
Yeah.
your descendant nature.
Yeah.
According to the history records, watch how Molden Bey swung on them. According to the history records, in the human race, there is no record of a Negro, black, or colored. So when I go in there standing on nationality, you got to deal with me different. Sorry, it's all Hispanics and Italians and Indians in the same line I'm with, and your beautiful, long-locked wearing self is over here in this line wondering why you can't get the results, because black is not a nation.
Hello.
Negro is not a nation. Ain't nobody, I ain't put Negroish up here.
Right.
Y'all like NBC giving you blackish. Mad at me, I'll tell you, that ain't really it, man.
Right.
Okay? Thank you again, sis. Go to the next page. Okay? We're going to look at the last two questions on the bottom, but we're going to look at the last one first. Okay? Question number 33. What is the modern name for Africa?
Jamo.
A Mexican.
A mix.
I was wondering how long it was going to take to catch it. Hey, when the last time y'all had a trip down to Mexico to get the old Mac head? Nobody? Why not?
Road trip, let's go.
Why not?
Let's go.
Opportunity
For what?
to go.
Okay, make it happen.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Y'all like talking about Egypt, right? And all the great little pyramids Egypt has, right? Because it's greatness. The first wonders of the world exist there. I'm not going to front on it. But I can't talk about no Egyptian empire when they told me the Cushites was over there making some things pop.
Right.
I don't care what the Greeks done fed y'all.
Right.
I went and did my own studies.
Okay. Hello.
Methanos wasn't a Greek, okay? Methanos was of Hebrew descent, in Zone, in Hebron, okay? I saw a map with my own eyes today. It was a beautiful map. I'm telling the store shop, man, no, that can't be from the 50s.
Huh.
All the countries not up there, and they're a lot larger.
Mm.
He still has Central Republic of the Congo in the middle of the land. Large. I said, nah, bro, you know, might be 30s or 40s,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Because, see, the wars that's going on over there is about land.
Mm-hmm.
The Rwandans want their land. The Somalians want their land. And if the Somalians think that they can get the Rwandans' land, let's fight.
Mm.
But why the South African black not fighting the South African white in South Africa? Nelson came and gone. Came home and divorced Winnie and everything. His people still struggling in apartheid in South Africa. Well,
Well,
people get mad at me when I'm like, you don't know Nelson Mandela, he's all right.
Right.
His people still in bondage. Yeah, he ain't all right.
Hmm.
My brother Yassine Bey went to South Africa. His family came with him. They told him, your family can't even leave.
Can you tell us about that, or is that another time? That's another story.
My brother had to stay over there to get his family's paperwork together.
Mm.
Something should have happened before they left the country.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord, everybody back in the States.
Mm.
But before he left, he made sure no parties in SA is what he put out. His petition is, we don't go back to South Africa. Because South Africa still practice bondage.
Mm.
They'll lock you up. You'll be lost.
Mm.
Same with Ethiopia.
What about made me go to South Africa as opposed to work there?
And they had my check. That's the truth. West Africa ain't really concerned about your partying. I'm gonna be honest, quite honest. Senegal,
Mm-hmm. That's where
ain't concerned about no partying.
yeah, I went to the Gambia and Senegal.
Ain't no partying over there. South Africa is tourists, man.
Mm-hmm.
You find McDonald's all over there, everything, Burger King, KFC, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Senegal. You gonna see him.
Uh-huh. Door of no return. I went there.
About 45 other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all all on the Black Panther tip.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no colonizer going over there doing nothing. Yeah. The French wall off Senegalese Muslims defeated the French over 275 times. That's why it's that little bitty country. I tell people all the time, that's why you see it independent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't about it, man. That little country over there, Senegal, y'all ain't ready for this, man. I told y'all to get free, you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight. Ain't no European about to let you go for free.
Right.
All that good cheap labor you giving Coca-Cola. Huh?
Yeah.
All that money you making for Walmart ain't about to let you go free.
Hmm.
What is the modern name for a Mexican? Africa. Go to question 32. Where is the Moroccan Empire?
Northwest.
Northwest of Mexico.
Of Mexico.
Okay? All right, here we go. I told you we was going to get into it. Everybody flip all your pages over. And the last pages, it's about 3 or 4 of them. I want you to pull those out. Because my time is up. Because believe it or not, I got to go to work too. I say all that, I still got to go to work. Matter of fact, let's do something different. Boom. Go to the last, I think it's 6 pages. Right after the 2 coloring pages. Okay? 1 more page. Okay? I want to talk about something real quick. Because I think Baba James touched on this a little bit last week too. Okay? Now y'all just hang out right there for a quick second, right? The thing about the Moorish paradigm, when we discuss the concept of understanding that we're dealing with a source of ancient demonstration, okay? And they took the term from us because they were taking the identity. Anybody seen the movie Roots? Remember how they took his identity? How'd they take it?
Beat him and cut off his foot.
And they took his identity and then what?
Change his name.
Changed his name.
Toby.
But he kept holding on to the fact that he was what?
Dinka warrior.
Kunta Kinte, Mandinkan warrior from
The Gambia.
who gave reverence to his.
Ancestor.
Come on, man. I just said to y'all, a mastermind should be traced 100 years. And I just told you, it's going to be a war. War means blood. The war was on his back. But he kept telling them, I'm Kunta Kinte, Mandinka warrior, son of so-and-so, such and such, such and such.
He sure did. That's why they begin.
Until he couldn't take it no more. Why? Because everybody around him wasn't saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Was no performance of practice. He didn't understand why Fiddler didn't speak his language. But he understood that part.
That's right. And when they were on the ship, he said he got sick eating white man's food. I remember that.
That's the same concept that you get from Amistad. You have to understand this concept because that was not our diet.
Right.
We ain't that stuff. Man, that was part of when the slaves was revolting. They started with don't eat.
Right.
Quit eating that.
Yeah.
So then came two and they reared your mouth open and they put a funnel down your mouth and poured the slop in it. So when that didn't work no more, let's chop our fingers off. Man, I'm gonna say it one more time. Y'all not ready to get free. Tucson L. Overture, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, man, look, enough's enough. Let's make it do what he do. Nat Turner said, man, I tell you what, I had a vision. I was dreaming, praying to God. You know, God talked to me. We're going to go to war. We're going to kill him. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, well, hey, why your friendly Bishop Minister Dr. Reverend, he ain't said that? What happened to the deacons of defense? What happened if I got in trouble with the law, I could run into the church and somebody would protect me real quick. Call my mama, call my lawyer, meet me at the church to come get me.
Hello.
What happened?
Plan.
Yeah, it was a plan.
Left that mind.
Right? Here we go. I know y'all not gonna like this. Okay? But you gotta understand that the term white really, truly, honestly does apply to you. I know. You've been carrying the black banner for so long. You had such great success marching and having stuff poured on you. Water hoses. I mean, you guys have come so far. Don't give up the struggle for the term white, the one that oppressed me, held me back, didn't let me get that job promotion. Yes. Because according to EEOC standards, white means anyone having origins, bloodline in North Europe, North Africa, or inhabitants of the original land thereof.
Hello.
If the E,
Yeah.
the prophet said, if other European nations are helping me, why not you? The Negro problem is being solved only as it can. If just one of you leave out of here tonight and come back and say, tell me more about that nationalism stuff, about that nationality, and how, you know.
We won't know.
Yeah,
I won't know.
Then I want it. Christianity provides no nationality. That's part of the stripping. I'm sorry to tell you, but you know, quote me on this. How can you call yourself conscious still sitting in the church? I don't understand it. I don't. A problem in the black community is the lack of the vote from the African American. I'm at least trying to get the strong African Americans to go stand up and vote and make a change, but quit looking at it on the national scale. Start local.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I speak that voting language. Quit That's the only way I'm gonna change some things, man. I come out here and do these, stand in front of the people, try to speak a little bit. Why? Because I might just throw the feds off in that politic thing, man. I don't need the money. I know it sounds weird because like I said, I gotta go to work. But I don't need the money to sell out, man. Hopefully I ain't. Because y'all people be selling out. And then don't support him when he's standing up.
Teach.
John Wiley been fighting in this ever since he been out here.
Yeah.
They call him a thug, a hooligan. Man, they did that to Al Lipscomb. They ain't stole no money. They ain't robbing nobody, man. They ain't kill nobody. Them brothers giving brothers jobs, getting brothers home, taking care of South Dallas. Why wouldn't they tear him down?
Right. Because he want to build up a people.
Bill Cosby, all he said was he wanted to buy NBC. He got $1 billion. He had it before Oprah. And now all of a sudden he's raping people 25 years ago? Huh?
Come on now.
Say it.
It's a character. That's part of your identity.
Right.
Man ain't did nothing. Feel for him. May Allah be pleased with his daughter who transitioned a week ago. She was the one who was standing up for her father. She made the corny statement that, yeah, y'all taking a knee, but while they tearing down the character of this man over here who's standing up for him. Woo! That was fire. If just one of my daughters speak on my behalf like that, I want it. Okay? The letter. Number 13, 1406 Lawrence Street, Baltimore. 17 Maryland. 81144. Okay? Dear sir, this from Mr. Richardson Dingle L. I request that National Headquarters call in of all the Moors, and have all of their records changed according to our authority. Now you can see how it is being done, and I am sending one of our nationality card and other paper bearing the correct name as proof. Some of the one whom you all request of whom cooperate with us in this great change are as follows. Mr. John J. Corson, Director, Social Security Board. Mr. W. Leon Elgin, Commissioner of Motor Vehicle. Mr. Forrest Bromwell, President, Board of School Commissioners. Number of thy first form are as follows. Form OAAN 7003, Federal Security Agency, Social Security Board, July 1939. Very truly yours, Mr. Richardson Dingle, L.N.A. Now, upside down on the bottom, you see it says, the National Archives, Record Group number 147. I have just introduced you to your own record group. You can take that form, try your luck with it. I know what it's done to me. I'm not gonna give y'all the keys right now. But I told y'all at the beginning, we wasn't gonna go through all the packet, but I was giving you some heat. Okay? Your code for where you want to be, National Archives, Congressional Records, Record Group number 147. Form OAAN is your Social Security form. Okay? Please understand that Social Security is a voluntary demonstration. Yeah, you don't need it at all, for nothing. That's usually how you are tracked and found, off your number. The next form. You're welcome. Google that. Google reference DOJ file number. Everybody know what DOJ is? Department of Justice. BM, $HR, $1, WD, 144-35-0. Google it. See what you come up with next time you see me share something with me that I don't know. Pertaining to the agreement made between the four agencies dealing with what? Moorish American what?
Status.
And what?
Jurisdiction.
Look here, Rome. Don't belong to you no more. Now let me go. Okay? I'm gonna tell you why real quick. I keep trying to flip back. I gotta show you this. Find that. The treaty with Morocco. The treaty with Morocco. When you go through that in your spare time, bathroom, at work, okay? Go and read it. Go and read that part you just highlighted for yourself.
Of America or their effects, and bring them into any of the ports of His Majesty. They shall be immediately released, as they will then be considered as under His Majesty's protection.
Now, I know being black for so long and hearing a term like majesty, you're normally used to hearing magistrate, but now you can see where the terms and the power is coming into play. As a Moorish American national, they know that I have a majesty that's overseas, that if things got too bad and too ugly, they would have to deal with what's called an embassy. But see, they don't want to deal with that because that embassy coming over here on my behalf will invoke this treaty. And then if they invoke this treaty, and then y'all find out, because I'm on Facebook, that the treaty is in effect, everybody gonna run in here and how do I get the feds in the car? Because I'm ready now. Then the next thing you know is they're gonna be trying to come into the temple and shut everything down. But the protection with that is the fact that everything we do has been recognized right here. This is not fake. Well, I say Google it. Tell me what you come up with and tell me something I don't know. Look at the 4 jurisdictions that you're dealing with.
Defense, Treasury, Social Security, Justice Department.
What else you need?
Right.
Okay? Refer back to your treaty with Morocco. Okay? Now let's go to the last 4 pages, and then I'm done. The last 4 pages are replicated copies of what this country used to look like. You look at the first one, you see the Latin, and you see how many states there are not. Okay? There are a few names there also. Tunis, Algiers, then even Morocco, right? I share this with you because that's around the time of 912. So some of the Greeks' history has been tainted because they thought it was over there when it was right here. Remember the question that you read? Where is the modern name for Africa? Mexum. Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Mexum. Y'all ready for the kicker? Watch my big finale. Watch this one. Everybody ready? Welcome to a Mexum! Oh, yeah. I told y'all I was going to take back and come back right to it. It said Cush and Ham was together before the great earthquake. After the great earthquake, you had the formation of the Atlantic Ocean. Did not Baba James talk about a place called Atla last week? Didn't he say that's what they call Atlantis? Well, we're not going to see the Atlantis in the Atlantic and this place called Atla until we get rid of the European. Sorry. Well, I told you it's going to be a war. But not every European is going to have to go. Not every European has oppressed them because some of the Europeans know, y'all in my bloodline. I'm not in yours. Y'all in mine.
Right. Hello.
What's the boy? There's a few of them. I don't even try to call their names. Forget about it. Okay? Look at the next map. Take a look at Florida. That was the first.
Oh, okay.
All that's Florida. You want to study the Florida history and diaspora of us? L. Eastmoors. E-L hyphen. East Moors.
Oh, East Moore.
Look at the names there, you'll see it. It ain't no sense for me trying to go through it, but Tallahassee, Seminole, it's another one, very popular. Appalachia. Yeah, Appalachia. Yeah. You have to study too whom the Algonquins were. Need to understand why it's so important for us to know that there are more on our side than we know of. Certain practices in the Pan-African consciousness. And take a look at the last one, real quick before we get out of here and look at the top. Little caption at the top. And it says, see if you can find Morocco, Tunis, Algiers, Moab, Mecca, Arabia, Turkey, Tripoli, Atlantis, Patmos, Egypt, Turkey, Sudan, Dahomey, Zaire, Zion, etc. Coincidence?
I think not.
I just shared with y'all, welcome to a Mexican. And the modern name for a Mexican is what?
Africa.
What they call y'all recently? They calling y'all what now?
African
Oh, okay. You're welcome. See, the European science is smooth. That's why some of them, they gonna kick it with us. It happened at the end of Roots, the generation to come. Fiddler's son rode off with him in the wind on the wagon. Went out west. Okay? Let me tie it in just like this and then we'll close. I started with the whole Quran. I'll end out with it.
What, you have a year for this map?
Say it one more time.
A year?
That would be when that map was found. Oh, I don't know. I could try to find out though.
Okay, just curious.
All right. I'm reading from Holy Quran, Moorish Science Temple of America. This is chapter 45. 7 short chapters, and then I'll be done. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, the Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca, the Egyptians, who were the Hammatites and of a direct descendant of Mizraim, the Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites and Moabites from the land of Canaan, the Asiatic nations and countries in North, South, and Central America, the Moorish Americans and Mexicans in North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. Everything you thought you knew in regards to Hagar should be seen different. Hagar is used in the Islamic perspective like Ruth used to be used in the Christian perspective until y'all got smart, you uppity Negroes. Ruth was and is a Moabitess. Everybody talks about her marriage being a sandal deal. Well, that sandal deal put us back into the human race and the human family of nations. That's the importance of Ruth. King James only gave her 4 very short chapters. He gave her no love. I could imagine, I guess, being a perverted, pedophile, homosexual, that you probably wouldn't give no love to somebody who came and brought you back into the family of nations. The same way with the Arabians of Nu, who used Hagar, but don't tell you about Belial, the Berber, who was chosen by Muhammad, the prophet, who told him to go call and make the prayer first. Yes, a Berber. One of Muhammad the prophet's best friends. But even the Arabians don't like talking about that story. So when I come, they know what's happening. I don't want to hear about that. That's for y'all people. Let's talk about this part of the Quran. That's for my people. So yes, I'm one of those brothers that holds you up in line when I'm dealing with the Arabian, and I check him on why he's selling pork skins, beer, and lotto over here in my neighborhood. Yeah, I go to him to do that on purpose, for you to hear, for you to hear, for you to hear, because he know he ain't supposed to be doing that according to Islamic law. That's haram, it's foul, and it's wrong. But he brings his Arabian American self over here and goes and get money from y'all's community, because y'all love the European. You don't come to my shop. I'm too high. I'm too far. Oh, I'm not nice and courteous. Oh, he ain't close enough. But the Jews will drive to Abilene for one matzah cracker to spend it with another Jew before he comes see us. But we sure running that Jewish shop, don't we? I wonder what's wrong with him. He didn't speak to me today. Hope everything's all right.
Come on, babe.
Come in my shop. Hey, how you doing, brother? You know, I'm all right. I see you got the blue pants. I was looking for the black ones. Oh, I got them, brother, right here. Oh, yeah, that ain't the kind I like. I just came to check you out. You know, I heard about you, seen you on Facebook. You ain't got no pork skins? Cool, filthy. No. All right? The Moorish paradigm. It's not a difficult one. It's just one that's not looked at. Because people spend more time focusing on Moors, and like I said to you earlier, that's a conglomerate term that's still speaking about Ethiopians, blacks, coloreds, and Negroes. They're not giving you the whole diaspora of what that was about. Hey man, the timeline don't lie. If they were in the Dark Ages for 700 plus years, what's wrong with y'all? Excuse me, I'm gonna join in this time. What's wrong with us that we can't do it again?
Hello.
I mean, for real. If we really got down with what our ancestors was talking about, what we doing? Why you ain't cutting off your fingers over there at GM building all them cars? Huh? Why you told them I ain't eating that? Why you just take that out of a bag from a window in your car, seatbelted in? Who does that? Big Mama them didn't eat like that.
Right.
Reach around there and hand me that chicken. I'm gonna take his head off. We gonna eat chicken, right? Look around here and hand me these collard greens. You gonna watch these tonight.
You ain't
Sit here and don't move while you're watching TV. You gonna do something. Snap these peas.
Hello.
Tell you what, you was out there with your granddaddy shooting and all of that. You gonna get out there with him and cut that hog too, skin it up. See, we ate that hog then, cause that was a wild hog. He was natural. Miss Piggy, well, not so much. Not so much. Understanding the Moorish paradigm is off the basis of identity, nationality, and divine creed. The NAACP is not pushing that. The SCLC, not teaching that. SEC, ain't giving that. BET, don't show that. ABC, don't encourage that. They don't. Will I ever sit On Oprah's talk show? Probably not. That's not good for ratings. But if I go in there debating some Klansmen, throwing chairs, then we can do something. I don't have time for that. That's not doing nothing for us. Okay? We got problems right here in Dallas. There ain't no sense in me going to Mississippi trying to help them.
We put that again, identity, what else you say?
Identity, nationality, divine creed. You can read all three of those about them two twins, Jacob and Esau. One twin came in off the heat. Grew up, daddy was getting ready to die. Mama dressed up the other one, pretending that you was just so you can get what? All the favors. Daddy wasn't no fool. You feel like my son, but you don't smell like my son. You sound like my son, but you don't speak like my son. Are y'all trying to trick me because I'm on my deathbed? Check it out. Let me show you what's going to happen. And he still flipped it on. Right? So, we are the children of one father, provided for by his care. The breast of one mother hath he given thee suck. Let the bonds of affection unite thee. I come in love. I come in peace. And I'm going to leave you the same way, in love and peace. Again, the Moorish Science Temple of America meets in the great house of Baba Esradeli Fakrenya, Iba Sheikh. Every Fridays at 7 p.m. You get a spiritual side, so you get to see what the Moorish church is like. I mean, no shouting, ain't no band, and ain't no... I don't even ask for offerings, tithes, jubilee, building fund, none of that. I don't ask for that.
This is the Moorish
Moorish Science Temple of America.
Okay.
Okay. We also meet Sundays at 1 p.m. where we have what's called Sunday school, and it's pretty much in a form like this. We actually go through questions. I'm even sitting down most of the time. Okay. Currently, just to let you know the seriousness of this for me, as I said to you, I'm a divine minister in the Moorish Science Temple of America, and I'm Grand Governor of the state of Texas under the Moorish Science Temple of America. Immediate and personal for me, there is currently a Moorish Science Temple of America in Mexico. What I just read to you, they read into. So there will be some times that I'll be literally saying I'm headed to Mexico for real. Because again, they know what's happening. They know what's going on. All right? Pay attention closely to the laws. Everybody's calls him dump and calls him chump. I like Donald Trump. Because he came in not trying to fool anybody. He didn't want to be president. He told you his Russian woman didn't have no papers. And he told you, I'm probably going to go to war with North Korea. Okay? But if you pay attention, everything that he's talking about is a national dissent and laws. Okay? And he's talking about grassroots organization building. Right? I encourage you to read, peruse through the pamphlet. It's there. Any questions that you may have, feel free to ask me after this meeting. Okay? But I am here in the community, and I thank you again for coming. This has been the Moorish paradigm. I hope that I gave you some brief understanding of how this thing applies for someone such as myself. All right? Understand that I perform and I practice this lifestyle. So I'm not really a Moor because I'm not a fan of that term. Because remember, Moor is a conglomerate term that they couldn't call you Kenyan, Zimbabwean, Nigerian. They couldn't call you Sudanese or Senegalese, so they just called you Moor because they came from the Moroccans that were here when they arrived here, in short. Okay? And even then, that was wrong because everybody wasn't from Morocco. All right? With that being said, y'all travel safe. Islam and peace.
Please.
I want to thank you all for coming out and giving some information. Friday, we're going to have a community celebration for Brother Fred. As you know, he transitioned to the ancestors on March 1st. The wake is going to be at Golden Gate, first month. The viewing will be Wednesday at 4 p.m. The wake is at 8:30 p.m. until about 9:30. The service is at Golden Gate on Thursday at 10 a.m. And I've been in touch with the family and shared that we wanted to do something for the community, because if we knew Brother Fred, we know how our families are. If you don't have your stuff in writing, put it in writing.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes our family will do what they want to do despite our wishes.
Correct.
With Esther Dell. And, it's